What up, YouTube? Grab your swords and all your fair ladies. It's your boys, Detroit Love, Patrick, P-Dubs, Arcade Loft, Michael B. the Game Genie, and we'll start you with another super episode of, guess what? The Super Game Room Dudes, babies. Let's get it started.
Call me crazy, but I kind of feel like you forgot my name there.
You know, I tried to put that Arcade Loft and I still ain't got that.
Mike, am I wrong?
I didn't know what was going on there. I didn't know if he had like a mid-seizure in the middle of it or what happened. But
well, you know, old age, memory loss, stuff happens. Ain't that right, Carl?
As long as I stay cute, baby, let it come.
Oh, yeah.
Your microphone sounds a little far away. Do you have the wrong mic turned on?
No, it's way far away. Is that
let's get
thing frowned upon?
Well, we want to get it close. If the audio's balanced, people don't complain in the comments after the video.
Well, we do have it wrong.
We actually had a comment. You know, I do read all the comments. Sometimes it gets hard to do so, but someone had left us a comment 2 weeks ago. They said, "Man, love your podcast show, but the audio levels were all over the place." You know what I mean? And it made it hard for me to watch. And I was like, man, I totally respect that because I hate it when that happens to myself when I'm watching stuff. But then again, we don't care. No, I'm just kidding.
I hear someone dancing in the background. Who's that?
Oh my God. What are you doing, Nostalgia? Is he putting on a costume right now? Is that what he's doing?
How's my audio now? Is that better?
Much better.
Okay.
All right, guys.
Wrong mic. Thanks, P-Dubs.
All right. We have a lot to get through tonight, but we also have some housekeeping items that we need to get to first. So for starters, on behalf of the Super Game Room Dudes Arcade and Gaming Podcast Show, I would personally, and I'm sure Carl and Nostalgia will join in on this, congratulate Michael B. the Game Genie on the birth of his son this week. Mike, tell us name, size, whatever you want to say. Congratulations on being a daddy again, man.
Thank you so much. You know, 41 is a ripe age to be a dad again. So Thomas Herbert Richard Burry was born just on Tuesday. So what was that? The 12th? Tuesday the 12th, 7 pounds, 6 ounces, 49 centimeters. He's a little tiny fella, but he's just the cutest and we love him. And mom and baby are doing great. They came home yesterday and it's been a whirlwind 24 hours since they came home.
Yeah.
Awesome. Congratulations, brother.
And we got a $5 super chat from Andrew's Clay Creations. I'm really tired, so I only came on so Michael B could tell me a bedtime story.
Oh, I will help you as much as I can. If you want some more content to help you get to sleep, I've made like 600 videos on YouTube and they're all boring as hell.
All right. We got a lot of congratulations popping through the live chat. Thanks so much, guys, for your support. We view everybody who watches this show as family, as community. And Mike, we're just so proud of you, man. We're so happy. What I can tell you guys is Mike has been putting aside the YouTube hobby with the new baby. And I'm so proud of you, man. Like, I'll call Mike, I'll FaceTime Mike. And before I would like talk to Mike and like, if, you know, Laura needed something, Mike and me would be on FaceTime and Mike would be like, okay, you know, but you know, like, I mean, he gets there, but you know, he's not like, I got to go buy click, you know what I mean? But with the baby, I'm FaceTiming Mike and we talk every day. Mike and I are really, really good friends. And I FaceTime with Mike this week. And all of a sudden, like, you hear the babies make a sound. Mike's like, I got to go buy click. You know what I
mean? That's not 100% what happened. I said, I got to go buy I love you. And then I hung up.
Yeah, but you hung up on me 4 times this week. But that's okay. Little Thomas deserves the attention more than little P-Dubs. Nostalgia, good to see you, man. Welcome to the show.
Thank you, sir.
How's everyone else doing in the chat? Let us know. We got Easter coming. We also, as another housekeeping item, wanted to wish all of you a happy and safe Easter weekend. Hopefully you guys have a good weekend with your family. I myself have got a couple Easter brunches planned and things like that. So I'm probably just going to be eating food all weekend. That's going to be my weekend. I don't know about you guys.
I got to do my taxes all weekend.
Anyone else got to do their taxes? Taxes are due Monday. Don't forget to do your taxes as well, guys. Let's get that done.
Hey, Michael, and my youngest son was born on Tuesday. My niece, she had made this video when he was young. It's like, Anthony Scott Brooks was born on Tuesday, and that's just stuck with me forever. He's like 30.
I'm gonna have to remember that.
But I can never forget what day of the week he was born on because
Yeah. I actually have to pull something here. So, Mike, why don't you tell people a dirty limerick or something here? I got to pull something up for everybody. Go ahead.
I actually don't have a dirty limerick, but I just wanted to say thank you again for all the congratulations, guys. It's been great. I'm just so happy baby's healthy and mom's healthy and we're back home again. Really means a lot to see all the support here tonight, and I'll try to be under my best behavior. But you'll notice I had a kid this week and didn't miss any time, yet Nostalgia stubs his toe and then misses like 4 weeks. He's like, oh, I'm sorry, my hair wasn't right this week. I couldn't come on.
What's your response to that, Nostalgia? That's pretty passionate.
He's not wrong.
And Michael B, I'm glad you got your baby boy. You know, I know guys, you love your kids no matter what. And I know I saw this video the other day. This guy had 2 little girls and his wife. They're doing one of those little ginger reveal things, and they pop it and it turns pink. And he goes, "Oh my goodness!"
Yeah, I saw that.
He was so hoping for a boy, but so many guys go through that. So a lot of people never voice it, but we want a boy, you know, if we can. So I'm glad you got your girl and the boys, because both of them are blessings, and you do so many different things with girls and different things with boys. And I have 2 boys and 2 girls, so I lucked out. But it's great. Kids are wonderful.
Yeah. My wife's family, they've been all girls for a while, so there's been no boys for a generation, and they were kind of hoping it. So the first name Thomas is actually their family name. There's always a Thomas in their family. Like this would be the 9th if it was in succession, but it's not. So you know, it skipped a generation. We're still calling him Thomas the 9th or whatever you want to call him. I call him Duke because it goes so well with his daughter. His sister's name Scarlett, but Lair doesn't like that very much. Apparently, you're not supposed to name your kids after G.I. Joes.
I like where Tim's going, Mike. You could tell Laura that now that you have 2 kids, you need more 4-player arcade cabinets in your house.
Well, I do got to tell you guys a little bit of story. My wife has been really hammering me like, no arcades. We got to save money. We got to be responsible adults now with 2 kids. And while she was in hospital, she actually dropped her iPad and broke it. And she was like freaking out. She was so upset because her iPad smashed. And I was like, don't worry, baby. Like, I'm just going to go get you a new iPad. It's not a big deal. And she goes, yeah, but then I'll feel like such a hypocrite because here you are buying me a new iPad and I give you all this problems about arcades. So I think I got an ace in the hole here now.
So when she's yelling at you, you're going to say, remember the iPad.
Oh, no, she actually, when I was talking about Dragon's Lair yesterday, she goes, I suppose you'll buy that one now. No hate, no anger, just kind of like a smirk. And I was like, back in the good graces.
Are you going to get that one?
No, I do have to be responsible. Like in the last couple of days, the sale came out for the iiRcade Gold Edition. Man, I would love to have one of those. They look so good. I know they don't do much more than the iiRcade I already have, but like it's awesome. And then the Dragon's Lair comes out, and I want this so bad, but I can't order it direct because I'm going to get absolutely ribrock with shipping and duty. So I got to wait to see if there's a retail option here in Canada before I make any decisions. And I also have to sell lots of blood and other things to be able to afford it.
How much was Killer Instinct? How much did that cost you?
$0 because my friend wanted to trade for my Capcom Legacy Edition.
That's right. You did a swap. That's right.
Yeah.
I forgot. All right, guys. One last.
Before we get started, I want to add a little story too. I'm in the doghouse right now because I bought something as well, and my wife wasn't happy. I didn't involve her in the decision process. I've been on the list for the Ford F-150 Lightning, the all electric car.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But it's not going to happen. I'm like 46 at the dealer, and they only have 3 cars allocated this year, so it's not.
Oh wow.
My daughter's is in her junior year, finished up her junior year in college, and I've been driving her car for the last 2 years, you know, for her to get her license and go through all that stuff. And so now she's coming back in May, and she's gonna need a car, so I need to get a car. So me and my wife, we talked about I need to get a car, but I went to the dentist the other day on Monday, and then I stopped by the dealership afterwards, and I bought a car, and then I just told her, I said, look, I bought a car. She was like, how'd you buy a car? We hadn't talked, I didn't test drive, blah, 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 blah. I'm like, sorry. So I've been in the doghouse for since Monday because I bought a hybrid because I can't get electric that I want. So.
But the odds of you getting that car, it's going to be a long, long time for it to show up, right? You're going to be on that list.
Oh yeah, for the F-150, yeah, yeah. This car here will be paid off probably before I get.
What did you buy?
A Kia Niro. It's a hybrid.
Oh, cool. Yeah.
52 MPG, it's a real basic car, but it's hybrid. I like it. And I'll just have to wait for the electric. And actually tomorrow I am test driving a Polestar 2. You guys ever heard of that? It's all electric. I think they're in bed with Volvo. I already had that scheduled. I'm still tested out tomorrow. But
Nostalgia, isn't that your name at the dance club, Polestar?
Yeah, you got it.
He's Polestar 1 though.
See, Mike, you're finally putting all the pieces together.
Oh man, my wife loves Kias. She had a Kia Soul.
Yeah, I love it. That's what I was driving.
She had a 2012, and she traded it in for a 2019, and she's had her 2019. And she told me that when she's done with her 2019, that she's going to get another Kia Soul. Like, she just loves those cars.
Yeah,
and I'm like,
that's what my daughter has, and that's why I've been driving. It's a beautiful car. It's more roomy than you would ever think. It's an awesome car. I love it. I would have got another Kia Soul, but they didn't have a newer version. So. What were you saying, Pete? Sorry to cut you off there.
Last bit of off-topic thing before we move forward here is, speaking of cars, you want to hear something funny that I actually have my eye on? I would love to get on that list to get one of those new Ford Mavericks. Like, I just think they're so cool, the new Ford Mavericks. I was thinking about getting one of the newer Ford Broncos, but I think I might get a Ford Maverick. I think I might trade in the Beamer for the Maverick. So it's a pretty dope truck. Can fit arcade cabinets in the back.
Well, especially since you're gone full-size arcades now. I mean,
oh, stop it. I think it's only got a 5-foot bed or something. It's pretty small. All right, guys, let's move on here. We got one more housekeeping item, and this is actually a bit of sad news, but we definitely wanted to recognize one of our favorite heroes on the Super Game Room Dudes podcast show. And ladies and gentlemen, as you've been living under a rock, you might not be aware that Gilbert Gottfried, famous actor, comedian, Hollywood legend, he passed away. Very, very sad. I love Gilbert, loved him like ever since I think the first thing I ever saw him in was Beverly Hills Cop 2. He plays the accountant, Sidney Bernstein. You guys remember that?
Mm-hmm.
Here's 1, 2. They're real crisp. You know what I mean? Trying to bribe Eddie Murphy, Axel Foley. But Gilbert Gottfried was amazing. And check this out, guys. Gilbert Gottfried, he's on the Cameo app. He created over 12,000 personalized videos for people. Now, of course, he got paid. Like, even the one he did for us, he got paid. But I think Gilbert Gottfried only charged like $50. Some of these Hollywood celebrities are like, yeah, if you want me to make a 15-second video for you, I want $500, right?
Yeah.
Gilbert Gottfried's like $50 and I'll make you a video and all that kinds of stuff. So in honor of Gilbert Gottfried, we are going to once again play our Gilbert Gottfried cameo that he did for the Super Game Room Dudes podcast show. And this is from the episode where we told Mike that we had Alyssa Milano backstage and she was going to come on screen and say hi to him. And Mike, you actually thought it was really happening, and then Gilbert Gottfried popped up instead. I
just couldn't imagine why you would say Alyssa Milano was going to be there if she wasn't going to be there. Why would you do that to somebody?
Because I'm a dick.
Steve Stelter, this is the appropriate time for you to say I'm a thirsty boy.
All right, guys. In honor of Gilbert Gottfried, let's pay tribute to a comedy legend on the Super Game Room Dudes.
Hi, this is Gilbert Gottfried. I know Michael wanted to hear from Alyssa Milano, but your buddies over at the Super Game Room Dudes podcast show got you the next best thing. Me. Congratulations on all your YouTube success. And now I know you've never seen me without my shirt on, but if you did, you'd say what everyone says. Wow! Wow! He's got much better tits than Alyssa Milano.
Gold.
And my conversation with Gilbert when I ordered that clip was, I said, I want you to, who are you going to order the clip for? I said, my friend Michael. And what do you want Gilbert to say? And I said, we know you, I wrote in there, we know you wanted Alyssa Milano, but the Super Game Room dudes got you the next best thing, right? And then he just ad-libbed the rest. You know what I mean? He just threw all that in there. And when I first got that clip back from him to play on the show, I was in tears laughing. It was so funny. So rest in peace, Gilbert. We love you, man. He was a great dude. He was a great dude.
And if you want a video game tie-in, everybody, I suggest you go check out a video by, funny enough, it's a band called Lame Genie, where they actually have Gilbert Gottfried through Cameo do the lines to the Mortal Kombat song. It is incredible.
Oh, that's so funny.
Yeah.
It's so good.
All right, guys, let's get this show started proper. We got some AtGames news for you. AtGames has been pretty quiet lately, but we got a little bit of news and some upcoming deals we want to share with all of you, as well as we're going to talk about the Arcade1Up Dragon's Lair arcade cabinet. That's the hot item this week. And then, of course, the iiRcade online gaming went live this week as well. And also, we'll end up going off the rails like we always do. So we got a number of items to get to. Let's get this show underway. So let's talk. Let's see. Let's do AtGames.
Ultimate updates. Ultimate updates.
Let's see if AtGames has given us the ultimate updates. All right. So let's talk about AtGames, guys. So it's interesting that AtGames sent out a message to media saying, hey, guys, since they've started their whole customer service live chat, you guys remember this, customer service 2.0? Apparently, their customer service response times, everything has improved, surveys, results from people, live chatting with their representatives. A lot of people seem pretty happy with the customer service. So that's great to see. Let's see if that can continue. I would very much love to say at the end of the year, because they got a long way to go, that AtGames improved their customer service, right? I would love to say that. So hopefully that'll happen. But they're making steps in the right direction. It says here that the average response time for tickets is now 6 hours when it used to be days. You know what I mean? So that's pretty good. That's pretty good. Mike of all trades is here, guys. Mike beat me in WWE 2K22, but I will get my vengeance, Moat. I will get my vengeance. But he only beat me 3-1. All right, so let's pull this up real quick for everybody. So if you guys are looking for your AtGames Legends BitPixel HV, most of the shipments were sent out. There's a few reservation holders who did not get their shipments. They're going to receive their payment notifications sometime this month in April, and you will get it. So if you're still waiting, where's my BitPixel HV? If you haven't gotten it yet, you will get it by the end of the month. Mike.
And these things are so cool. And if anybody figures out how to do it, can you split a USB signal going into it? Because I want it hooked up to my Legends Legends Pinball. I also want it hooked up to my computer without having to switch that cable back and forth. So if there's some way to do that, because I'm not technologically savvy enough to figure it out, please let me know.
I haven't even tried tinkering with it myself, so we'll have to play with it. If not, we call this guy named John Wagner. He knows everything.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
Yeah, he knows everything. Taking a look here, those of you waiting for the Legends Core Max, Nostalgia, why don't you tell people what this slide says? I want to hear from you, man.
It says we're receiving the first shipment earlier than previously announced. Reservation holders will receive an email/payment links by April 19th. Final fulfillment expected to be completed by the end of April/early May. And final payment will vary based on purchase of sale period. So whether you are from NODA, Winter Sale, NOD 2022, or if you were just buying it off the website at the regular price.
Yeah, so Legends Core Max, I know I pre-ordered one, so I'd like to get my hands on one so I could do some game testing and things like that. So I am, like you guys, I am eagerly waiting one to come out. When it comes to companies sending out review units, I think AtGames only sent them out to their, what do you call them, their sponsored channels. So we're not sponsored channels, so we're not going to get a review unit. So obviously, just like you guys, I'm waiting for my copy. That way we can make some content on it and all that kinds of stuff.
This is not a product that I ordered. I don't think it's even available in Canada here yet, but it's not something I'm super interested in. But there is a lot of really good value to it, not in the way people think, because this essentially is a soft, almost like a soft upgrade to your Legends Ultimate. People are saying we want a new Legends Ultimate that's more powerful. Well, I don't know if anything's coming anytime soon, but what you can do is you plug this shit in, and this basically becomes a new computer for your Legends Ultimate. So you basically upgrade it to a more powerful system. So yeah, the first thing that you can do is play pinball in 1080p instead of 720p. But I'm sure as time goes on, there'll be more stuff to do with it.
So did you just coin a new T-shirt? Is this now cabinet shit?
Yeah, that's right.
Mike, you want to start telling people what's going on with the Legends Platinum Owner program here?
Yeah, so Legends Platinum Owner, I'm just going to be honest with you. It's the extended warranty program, and I think they're really trying to add a lot of value to the whole content behind you're a longtime owner and you've had Arcade.net, so we want to do this. And I don't really understand it. Like, I haven't really paid that much attention to it because it's not really available to Canadians, so I'm like, whatever. I probably should pay more attention to it. But one thing I didn't really realize, and I don't know how I missed this, was they actually offer monthly sale prices to people from the Legends Platinum Owner program. So you get like basically National Owners Day prices on specific items every single month because you're part of the LPO. And I don't know why they don't advertise this more. Like if that was me, I would have this up on like their Twitter feed, and I would say, here's, March's LPO deals of the month. Here's what you get to be a Legend Platinum owner, because then it would interest people more in the Legend Platinum owner program. Hell, I mean, even the same deals that they're doing there, that'd be cool if that was an add-on benefit with Arcade.net, and probably throw more people into the Arcade.net fold and be interested in subscribing to that. But anyways, there's regular monthly deals, and P-Dubs, I don't know if you've got the slide there with the current deals, and I don't know if this is just something they advertise, but as it seems to me, they explained it to me, they just send an email out to the people in the program, and I think that's doing a disservice because, I mean, you look at this, I know the Legends Gamer Mini is not that great a deal because they've also got the deal like GameStop. I don't know if that's still available, but you can get that controller for $21. Everybody shits on it, but I actually got to review one with I forget what it's called. Like it came with a core and a controller, and it's actually surprisingly good. It feels cheap, feels super cheap, but it works really well, and they've got haptic feedback with it now. And I also did a full review on the Legends BitPixel for $100. That's an amazing value, and I love my Legends BitPixel. Might not be for everybody, but it's super cool. You can do so much stuff with it. So I'd like to see AtGames make more people aware of this. So if you want to get in the Legends Platinum Owners program, I mean, it seems like it's just an extended warranty. There's a lot more to it.
Yeah, so what I want to show you guys is right here, because we promised you we'd kind of show you some of the stuff AtGames working on here. So the next round of deals for Legends Platinum owners, as well as some updates on deals coming soon for just everyone else. So for instance, taking a look here, AtGames from March 24th through April 21st. So actually, technically, this is still ongoing for another week. You can get your BitPixel HV for $100. Standard BitPixel for $100, and your pinball button kit for $25. So they are offering those discounts for the Legends Platinum owners. But don't worry, guys, we got some Father's Day stuff we're going to talk about here. AtGames also is going to be expanding their distribution, guys. Take a look at this. I always found it interesting that I could only find AtGames at like Walmart, GameStop, and AtGames website themselves, right? Looks like AtGames is going to be on Amazon, Best Buy, Kohl's, and, well, we know they're with Sam's Club. But so, yeah, they're expanding some distribution here, which that's pretty interesting, in my opinion. What do you guys think about that?
Well, the Sam's Club piece of news is actually a little bit different. They're restocking at Sam's Club. So while they already have items at Sam's Club and have been working there, there's going to be more inventory coming in, is what the announcement was.
Yep, Jason put it right here, Kohl's Cash. Hopefully we'll see some Kohl's Cash deals. I know one of my Arcade1Up products, I was able to convince the wife that we would purchase it because I would give her the Kohl's Cash. I forget which product it was.
Yeah, I mean, that's definitely a nice selection of stores. that will definitely help people make be able to make decisions. Obviously, the Kohl's Cash is huge for people that do that. Best Buy is always great because they usually give you an option for no interest, so you can buy it and pay it over months without having to pay additional for it. And obviously, Amazon's huge because they just have 1,000 eyeballs on it, and you get it Prime next day and those type of things. So, yeah, I think that's a great selection to add to their distribution. Pretty awesome.
I agree, Carl.
Was your cabinet Ridge Racer P-dubs?
I think
Kohl's
it may have
Cash? Yeah.
one of them. One of the recent ones. I can't remember. Or was it Terminator 2?
Well, she wanted Terminator 2. If she got Terminator 2,
no,
plus you give
it wasn't that
that's
one.
a bad deal.
It was Ridge Racer. I think it was one of them. One of them we got Kohl's Cash. She got the Kohl's Cash. Anyway, guys, go ahead.
Just one other quick comment. I love the fact that they're increasing the number of places you can buy these cabinets, because I remember even talking to you, Carl, and other people, telling people about AtGames. You can just go to Sam's Club, and people didn't even know if they had a Sam's Club near them. They're like, it was like Harold and Kumar go to White Castle. They're like, no, it's up the freeway, 2 lefts over, and then you can find the Sam's Club. So it's great that there's other store options out there, and hopefully this expands their reach.
Well, and Sam's Club requires a membership too, right?
Yeah,
so this is one of those situations where you no longer need a membership to go in and buy the product.
Yeah, so it's huge all the way around. Like when I got my AOU, my local one never had it, and so I had to drive clear, on the other side of the state almost to get it. So the more places you can get it, obviously allows it to get into more people's hands. So it's definitely
agreed. Shoeshine said, "What were the dates again for these retailers?" Real quick, they're on the bottom of the slide here. Yeah. May and June, you'll start seeing these. They didn't give us exact dates, obviously, so there you go. But keep your eyes peeled May and June at these retailers for your favorite AtGames products. But guess what, guys? Don't worry about the rest of us. Summer sales are coming. That's right. They're going to have a big Father's Day sale, June 16th through June 20th. But also check this out, guys. New pinball announcement. That's right, guys. They are going to finally unveil new pinball packs.
They didn't confirm that.
And table sales, full announcement in May. It's got to happen because their commercial listings for the pinball machine confirm that they do have upwards of 12 additional pinball game packs coming soon. And looks like we might finally start seeing some of these rolling out, or at least the pre-orders, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera.
So we're going to see Pinball 2.0?
No,
I doubt it.
I pushed them a lot last night. I said, at least give me a hint. They wouldn't say anything. They're not even confirming there's new pinball tables. They're just teasing at this point. So we'll wait and see. I think it 100% is new pinball tables.
A tease means a yes. There's going to be new pinball tables for sure. Orion says he bought all the tables. He's ready for more. There you guys go. Tim says you should get discounts for each kid you have. I don't know what he's talking about. I don't know what that means.
I'm not sure, but I can have another one if it's going to get me a little bit off.
All right, so that's what's going on with AtGames, guys. Not a whole lot there, but that it is what it is, and hopefully next month we'll be able to unveil some pinball games. That'd be pretty cool to see. In the meantime, guys, let's find out what is going on with Arcade1Up. So what's up with Arcade1Up? It seems like what's up with Arcade1Up is pretty much just one big thing. They're big news this week. The Arcade1Up Dragon's Lair arcade cabinet, and a lot of people are excited about this. A lot of content creators made videos about this. Guys in the live chat, let us start throwing your impressions in of the Arcade1Up Dragon's Lair cabinet. Michael B., I saw your video on this, but before I get to you, Nostalgia, you didn't get a chance to chime in this week with your thoughts on this cabinet. What do you think about Arcade1Up doing Dragon's Lair, that it's finally here and all that kinds of stuff?
Being honest, I'm pretty disappointed in the redesigns that they've done to it. Primarily, I think the biggest thing that bothered me was the change of the marquee, because the way that they had originally promoted the machine, it looked really good. And even if they had just left it that way and just swapped out that stupid plug your cell phone in for some sort of a monitor, and that's all they did, I think that would have been like a really strong contender for one of the most visually appealing cabinets that they've ever released. And then they've done a couple redesigns. They've tweaked things. It looks like they changed the speakers from round or from square to round. The marquee it looks really dinky. Like it looks out of place. And based on what I'm seeing, it looks like they probably had to like squish the artwork to make it all fit there. And I don't know. I just think that is a huge miss. So from my perspective, that small change is something that would keep me away from the cabinet personally.
Okay. And what about you, Carl? What do you think about this?
Well, I chimed in yesterday. I was on B Kong's show talking about it, and I just before this show started, I went and played about 5 rounds of it with arrows on, and I died so many times it wasn't funny. You know, I just suck at that game. I've sucked when I was younger, and even now I just not. But I enjoy. I'll have that on in the background as part of my ambience with all my games on. It just adds to it. It's just one of those iconic games that as soon as you hear it, you get excited. And I can tell you this, I hadn't seen this one yet, but it's not going to sound as fantastic as the iiRcade does. I mean, the speakers on the iiRcade, especially with this game, I don't think any of the games are magnified as much as show off those speakers on the iiRcade. So I'm hoping and praying that we don't have any speaker gate with this one here. Because that would be a bummer. Because this thing the soundtrack just sounds incredible on the arcade whenever this thing boots up into this game. So I love that, and I always have it in the background. I suck at playing it, but I still go in there and die many times with or without the arrows.
Okay, Michael B. I know you've been on the edge of your seat.
Is there a version of Dragon's Lair on the Xbox?
I think there is. Isn't there?
I don't understand why you just wouldn't take the money and buy an Xbox Series S and put it in a Micro Center cab. I mean, you could save so much money by doing that.
Every week it's the same joke. Every week.
I actually have to agree with Steven on the marquee. I don't like that they changed the marquee. One of the big things with Dragon's Lair, especially, is the outside presentation. And I've said this till I'm blue in the face. What I want Arcade1Up to be, they may never be, but what I want them to be is I want them to make 3/4 or now XL and Pro replicas of the real cabinets. That's what we're getting. And whenever there's concessions made this way, sure, this is a lot better than the old swan neck design, but seeing that they made a concession with the marquee and made it so much smaller is really super disappointing. There's another thing that, Steven, you might have missed, but they actually changed the control panel as well. The screen was supposed to be up a little bit more, and that control panel actually goes a little further up. They took that out and just have the basic standard control panel compared to the original. So
yeah, I did not notice that.
That's a little disappointing as well. I every time I see this, I want this to be as close to the arcade as original. So it's disappointing that that's there, but there are some updates to just confirm. The video they put out had that awful red trim on it. We found out that's not real. Also, the screen in the description lists as an LCD secondary screen. John D was on, I forget which show. I don't know if it was our show or if it was on Weekly Retro Party, but he did say they actually found alphanumeric screen. So that is a real alphanumeric screen that the scores are going to be taking place in instead of an LCD screen. So,
yeah, and here's the way I look at it too, right? You unveil, you send out email blasts to your customer base. You say, hey guys, we have a new product available for order, right? And not only that, but we have the product listing on our website, and the product listing is wrong. And on top of the product listing being wrong, you have a sizzle reel with a sizzle render of the cabinet, and this render is wrong. Arcade1Up, being the largest company and the most experienced company in this space, these simple marketing mistakes should not be happening. You know what I'm saying? Because if other people pick up your news, they're going to report on what you're reporting. Arcade1Up, on their, even today, it still says it's an LCD screen. So that's what we're going to report on. That's what we're going to judge the product on, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. Turns out Arcade1Up actually did put, these are going to be alphanumeric displays. They're not going to be LCD, which is great. It's
a lot better than a cell phone.
Which is great. But why is your listing wrong? And also the cabinet will have black trim, but in your marketing sizzle reel trailer, the cabinet's got red trim, right?
I like the red trim.
A lot of people will, and it's what what people. Okay, we're gonna go down the rabbit hole on this. So it's what people want different things. Like some people look at that and say, "Man, that red trim is bumping, makes the cabinet pop," and I think it looks nice. But what do you want? Do you want something that's arcade authentic, or do you want something with red trim that makes the cabinet pop? And that's the question you have to ask there. And then there's some people saying, "Well, I prefer my iiRcade Dragon's Lair." Cool, that's the same thing too. Maybe this isn't for you. If you just want to play Dragon's Lair, there's a great version of Dragon's Lair on the iiRcade. They've got a Dragon's Lair inspired multicade that you can play it on. But this is not necessarily for you if that's what you're interested in. This is more for the collectors and people who want a more original like cabinet.
All right, so Nate likes to come in our live chats and give us a lot of shit in the comments. Nate, I'm going to disagree with you 100%, buddy, on this. I don't care if common casual owners know what an alphanumeric display is. If you list your product as having an LCD screen, but it has alphanumeric, which is a totally different thing, that is not cool, man. That is not cool. You can't defend Arcade1Up and say, "Oh, regular people don't know what that is, so just call it an LCD screen." I'm going to dispute that with you 100 times, buddy. So, anyway, guys, but sorry. Sometimes Dad's got to slap the kids at the dinner table. But look, man. Mike, keep going. I'm sorry I cut you off.
No, don't worry about it at all. But at the same time, I think this is more for collectors, people that want the as close to the original experiences you're going to get in what feels like an arcade cabinet, which 3/4 is as close as we're probably going to get right now. I know people were disappointed because they expected this to be an XL cabinet. That's what it was going to change to with a 19-inch screen, taller. But, you know, this is it. One thing that came out on the weekly retro party earlier that was interesting is the fact that this is not going to have Wi-Fi. They justified that they didn't feel that this game really had a lot to value in the leaderboards. I don't really care about the leaderboards with the Wi-Fi. The Wi-Fi for me with the Arcade1Up cabinets is purely for the updates. There's, you know, probably going to be something wrong with this. They're going to need to do an update, and it's just so much easier with Wi-Fi. Every cabinet should have it just as a precaution and safety measure. So I'm disappointed by that. But going back to Restelja's comment, and I think this is probably why they did this with the marquee too, is John D talked about their margins and price point with this cabinet. And they said, man, we can't afford it where we got to put a cell phone in it. But they went out and they got the screens. So maybe the way that they found the margin to do that was to actually cut down the marquee, make the marquee a little bit smaller. That would save them some money and change the shape of the panel as well. I'm just spitballing here. It's probably bullshit, but I'm thinking of reasons why they would do this stuff to these changes to the cabinet.
I think the more reasonable reason why they made the changes to the marquee and the control panel, after you told me about the control panel, is line of sight.
Yeah, possibly.
So if they have a big honking marquee, and then if the screen's also higher up, then they're going to run into the same problem that they did with the legacy cabinets. So that's probably the most practical reason that they would have changed it. But I don't know. It's still, that marquee sucks. Like when you look at the side profile, if you look at the side profile, it goes from like thick to thin, and it just looks really like just looks stupid.
You're talking about this?
No, like a side view, like completely from the left to right side. Right. It was on their website.
Yeah, I'll find it.
Just find it. Yeah. Pick either side.
Yep, hang on.
Look how stupid that looks.
I think it looks fine. I think you're overreacting.
No, it looks stupid.
Well,
no, that looks fine. What are you talking about? That looks fine. It just looks too narrow. It doesn't look bad.
Right. It looks stupid. Narrow.
Well, the thing I noticed about this is in their mock-up, the little video. I hate that they have that black back on there when they're not going to give you a black back. That's one of the pet peeves I have with Arcade1Up is having those brown back covers. Why not give us black so it just looks better? Even though you're not going to see the back of these things all the time, it's just why not? And I always like these black cabinets because they do have black dots that you can cover up those darn screw holes. So that's always a plus when it's a black cabinet. But I always say the one thing I have appreciated with Arcade1Up, we know where they started from with the Super, obviously not Street Fighter cabinet, is they've opened up this third party market, right? These people that make marquees and make all these different even control boards and all that stuff. So I always say never fail. Arcade1Up never makes it perfect, and so he leaves room for the third-party people, modders, to make control panels to look the way you want it, make marquees the way you want to look at. If you absolutely have to have it that way, because obviously they're taking concessions for costs and have to take some concessions there and cut some things out. Perfect. I know, Michael B, that's your thing. You want it to be as close as the original as possible. Obviously the monetary thing is a constraint, and then they have to produce these things as much as they can. You know what I mean? So we know it's going to have some issues. I'm glad that these third-party people aren't, because obviously they came out with marquees right now that could have pushed all of those guys out, yet they still exist for various reasons. So I'm glad to a degree that those guys still can make money and make people's dreams come true in the third-party market, as opposed to them having a product that rolls off the assembly line exactly the way people want it.
All great points, Carl. All great points. Meatball Saucy said maybe it's because of line of sight they made the marquee a little bit more narrow, because they were able to add the larger alphanumeric displays, and you need to be able to see them while you're standing in front of the cabinet. Maybe that's why the marquee is a little bit skinnier than it used to be, right? So versus the original concept design that they had to release. So I think that kind of makes sense. I think Meatball might be onto something there. I would agree with him. Now, my biggest concern with this cabinet, and guys, this is just, you can't get mad at me, because we're talking about Arcade1Up history here and all their recent arcade cabinets. Every single cabinet minus Ridge Racer,
T2,
and one other
later
have had to have firmware updates. Have had to have fixes, right? Like the last 6 out of 8 cabinets, there's been something's gone wrong. Golden Tee, you know what I mean? Big Blue, if this thing isn't perfect out of the box, no Wi-Fi to download updates to fix it, if something got messed up, what are people going to do? You know what I mean? I think them not including Wi-Fi was a step backwards. You know what I mean? Add the Wi-Fi, charge people, $700, whatever. I don't care. But all these cabinets should be Wi-Fi enabled moving forward. You know what I mean? Think about how many people
100%.
would be returning their Golden Tee cabinets to Best Buy right now if it wasn't for the fact that they were able to push out a firmware update. You know what I mean?
I will tell you, I'm worried to universally shit on this cabinet, though, because we're close to the finish line for Dragon's Lair, and this took so long, and there was so much negativity from the community about the bring your own screen, other things like that. I'm worried that if we keep pressing Arcade1Up, and I know I'm letting them off too easy here, and I'm not doing this because I'm the Uber fanboy, but I'm worried that at some point they're just going to say, screw it, scrap it, we're just not going to do it. We can't make it work, so we won't do it. I think we're too late now that the pre-orders are out. I think they'll come to fruition. But I was thinking about that, and I was like, it's still not right.
Well, I got to see,
probably as good as we're going to get.
Isn't this? I remember seeing the screen. This is by a different developer than what we've had before. Is this a new software developer that's doing this one?
I think Code Mystics is doing this.
Is it
what I've been hearing? Yeah.
Okay, I thought I saw a logo or something for something different.
But you can't tell me because it's Code Mystics it's going to be perfect out of the box. Look what happened to Killer Instinct.
Carl, you saw Digital Leisure as the that's the license holder for Dragon's Lair.
I got you. Okay, but my thinking is, they announced this a long time ago, and so when they started working on this, if they indeed started then, that was before they had the Wi-Fi cabinets. That's true, right? At the time when they announced this at the CES in 2020 or whatever it was, we didn't have Wi-Fi cables cabinets out, if I'm recalling correctly. So maybe this was already in development prior to those Wi-Fi cabinets being available. That's my thinking.
Frank's got a good point here as well. And this could be why it's also a standard size Arcade1Up versus an XL or Pro size Arcade1Up. This might be why it's on a riser, is this cabinet has been in development purgatory, right?
Absolutely.
You know what I mean? So,
because they had to go back in the drawing board to get the phone thing out of it and put that LCD and now the alphanumeric, I'm sure that added to this the delay as well.
Yeah, and Nate, I'm going to disagree with you again, my friend, because guess what? MAME's been around forever, and they've had issues emulating Asteroids, Galaxian, Pac-Man games. You know what I mean?
Now, John D has a message there.
You know?
He says, okay, I'm here. Updates will be done via Micro B. Yeah, I mean, but obviously that's not as simple as the Wi-Fi is for it to pop up and say
I don't know, but I think, if we're going to go back to the casual owner conversation, casual owners just want an update pushed to them. They don't want to have to take the back of their cabinet off, drag a laptop over to it, or carry their cabinet over to a desktop PC and do all this stuff. You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah.
$2 super
It
chat
definitely
from
makes it a
Scarpat.
much more difficult task to accomplish. You got to be a techie or know somebody to come over. Michael B's not that savvy. He might be able to get that update. Maybe he won't, but most people I would say won't be able to do that.
Yeah, and it's easy to make some mistakes too on those updates. Like if you don't have the right chords, and like sometimes like when I was doing the pinball updates, I just couldn't get the update to go from one section to the next because I had to change something. So it's not super complicated, but a very casual, technologically inclined person will find it complicated, much more complicated than it needs to be to do an update. It's great that that's an option. At least there's still an option, but it would be great if it was Wi-Fi just for that.
Right.
And I know. John, I don't know if you're here in the comments and you can comment on this. There's no other value where you're not doing leaderboard, so it's just for the updates. So that's a easily scrappable component that helps with the cost savings in order to add the alphanumeric screens, is my guess.
Yeah. Now, the fact that their online listing on their website is wrong and says LCD screen, but the fact that, and that's what we've all reported on all week, the fact that it really is alphanumeric screens, that's a win. That's a win, in my opinion. That's going to make this cabinet so much better. So I will give them that much. Absolutely. And of course, let's be honest, if you really have nostalgia for this cabinet, the fact that it looks pretty dang close to the original cabinet, like I said in my video the other day that I published, that's pretty good. I mean, you would be happy with this. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
Let's see here. We got $10 super chat from Juicy Time. We all love Juicy Time. John D, make a Dragon's Lair XL version. Well, looks like John D's here in the live chat. Maybe he'll take that feedback into heart. We appreciate the donation. We got a $5 donation from Hobby Hands. I'm not saying it has to be 1-1. It looks like a nice cabinet. I just don't think it's targeted to the collector specifically. See previous super chat. Did I miss the chat previously? I hope.
And why are you looking for that? I mean, people have been clamoring for this from Arcade1Up for the longest. They've asked for it, they've demanded, they've screamed and cried, and did a whole lot of things. So I think those diehard people that wanted this cabinet, that really loves it, I think this is close enough that I think it's going to appease, most, if not all, of those customers. So I don't think it's a loss for Arcade1Up. Again, it's our job as super fans to keep pushing them to get closer. We wouldn't have the molded coin doors, if they stuck with, their motto is no coins necessary. So why do I need a coin door, right?
This doesn't. There's no piece in the description that says coinless operation, Carl. So I don't know.
Yeah, but we've asked for a lot of things, and they continue to give us more and more and more. So it may not come as fast as we want, but by golly, they're making some efforts, and I don't fault them for that.
I mean, this is we saw that I guess the rendering of the Dragon's Lair with the old swan neck design, the old Think Up design from a couple of years ago, and everybody was like, "My God, that's terrible." I know that this might not be perfect, the one-for-one recreation of the original cabinet, like you would want with the marquee and all that stuff. But I mean, think about how much better this looks than the swan neck design Dragon's Lair we saw. So it is trending in the right direction. Is it perfect? No, but it looks so good. The only problem is a lot of us are buying this because we want to recreate the original. So it's hard to see some of those things changed.
All right, guys, I just put a poll in the live chat for our viewers. As always, guys, we're closing in on 250 people watching live. We greatly appreciate your support. The question in the live poll for you to click on right now is, are you going to buy an Arcade1Up Dragon's Lair? Yes or no? If you're going to buy one in the future, whether you're waiting for a sale, mark yes. Or if you bought one already, mark yes. If you're not buying one, mark no. But do me a favor, guys, in the live chat right now, because Arcade1Up needs to hear our honest feedback. If you're not buying one, tell John why. What is going to prevent you from buying the cabinet? Is it the price? Is it the fact that you own an iiRcade? Is it the fact that it doesn't have Wi-Fi? Is it only has 3 games? Like, whatever the reason is, throw it in the live chat. Arcade1Up should hear that feedback from you guys, not from us. Because they hear it from us all the time. I'm sure they watch our videos. Right?
Yeah, and we haven't really talked about price in here today. I mean, what do you guys think? I mean, you got the whether it's LCD or whether it's alphanumeric, you got that second screen. Obviously, cost to add on there, and they're still at $599. I mean, is this price we're in the ballpark of what you thought it would be or what you expect?
This might shock a lot of people, but I honestly thought this was going to be a $700 cabinet because I was expecting it to have Wi-Fi, online leaderboards, all that kinds of stuff to kind of compete with what else is already out there on the marketplace. But the fact that this is coming in at $600, and yes, it is a very sexy cabinet, and yes, they are going to be running the original games on this cabinet, the original ROMs, the original Laserdisc files. They're not going to be console ports. And the cabinet looks pretty good, like maybe like 85% of what the original cabinet looked like, maybe 90%. $600, in my opinion, isn't bad for this cabinet, and that might shock a lot of our reviewers, but I actually think it's okay. In my opinion, I actually think it's okay.
And I don't want you to miss the super chat, but I just want to say while you're looking for that, this is essentially, in my mind, this is a legacy cab. So, if you're looking at it from a legacy cab, then I think the price is fair considering you have that second monitor on it.
What do you mean a legacy cab? How do you mean
legacy? Like the whatever the other legacy cabs they had. Am I missing something?
I'm going to need clarification on what you mean.
Okay, I have an Atari legacy cab.
Yes,
that doesn't have Wi-Fi. That that Tempest looks as close as you can get to the real thing. I'm saying that is essentially a legacy cab, not an XL.
Oh, I understand what you mean. I understand what you mean. But the problem with that is those legacy cabinets have a much cheaper price point. Much cheaper.
Right. Again, yeah. But they were originally $499. But I got mine on sale, but they were originally $499, weren't they?
No, $399.
Was it $399? Okay.
Yeah, we don't know what the new legacies are going to be, but $399 were the price points for those legacies that you're talking about. But that was before prices increased from manufacturing. I'm still waiting for somebody who might be in the chat to let me know if we're going to get a retail option for this cabinet here in Canada. So if that person in the chat has an answer for me, I would greatly appreciate it before I can answer whether or not I'm going to buy this.
$5 super chat from Tyler. How long until Golden Tee cab goes on sale? I immediately returned mine. He's holding out for NFL Blitz and Time Crisis. Hold on, let me try to unpack this. So he bought the cabinet, then returned it, but now wants to know when it's going on sale?
Yeah.
Nostalgia, is that what he's saying?
That's what it appears that he's saying.
Why'd you return the cabinet?
Wait for it to go on sale to get a better deal.
Like, I bought it, but I'm returning it. Oh, and then okay, maybe I don't know. Usually, like, if I buy a cabinet, I don't, rebuy it when it goes on sale. I just don't do that. But odds are, Mike, how often do the cabinets go on sale? You think we've seen what, about 90 days later?
Well, there's a couple
retailers.
There's a couple factors that go on there. It's some of the retailers will put options out there if they have overstock. And then you got the Walmart stuff, which is impossible to tell. Walmart sometimes do clearance. I don't know what Tyler is looking at specifically, but I assume Tyler purchased it, saw all the reviews, said, screw this, brought it back, and he said, it's probably going to go on sale in a while anyways. So he took a gamble. It never happens. Some cabs just don't go on sale. Have you ever seen Tron go on sale? No, because they sold them all. So it depends on what happens with Golden Tee. If they have a lot of stock left over, I don't know if Golden Tee is going to be one of those cabinets. Maybe that'll go on sale, like The Simpsons right now. Obviously, they ordered thousands and thousands and thousands of The Simpsons, and some retailers have overstock on those. That's why we're seeing lower prices. Is Golden Tee one of those cabinets? I don't know.
Guys, we're going to go ahead and close the poll. Well over 100 votes. Thanks so much. And out of everyone who responded, 105 people, 28% said, or 27% said, yes, they are buying the Arcade1Up Dragon's Lair. 72% said no. And a lot of the no's put some pretty good feedback in the live chat for John to read, because John's in our live chat. I think this is the real John D. And they let him know it's about prices or whatever their reason was that made them not pull the trigger. So there's a lot of great, honest feedback in here. Thanks so much, guys. Greatly appreciate it.
I want to add on about the sale. I know with my Star Trek not Star Trek, my Star Wars. I got that from an obscure site that I don't even know. They're well known, but they've never sold any arcade cabinets. Arcade1Up cabinets prior, and they had a coupon. I think I got like probably, I think it was like 35 to 40% off. So I got a really nice deal on that because it was Star Wars, and that's something that's globally known, right? So I think the Golden Tee behind that most recognizable franchises that, if it's possible, it would definitely be a Golden Tee that could show up other places. Just because if someone says, "Hey, do you want to get this unknown cabinet?" They may not pick them up, but if they can come across some Golden Tees at a good price and be able to sell them, they definitely would grab them. So I think it's more likely that they'll go on sale as opposed to not going on sale.
True that. True that. Hey, Nostalgia Hobby Hands gave us $2, and he said he thinks it's going to sell more than Tron. Do you think so, man? Is Dragon's Lair bigger than Tron?
I don't know, actually. I think they're probably going to be pretty similar. I actually think they hit pretty close to the same demographic, to be honest. I don't know if it's going to necessarily be better than Tron, but I think that it's going to be a pretty even run between the two of them. Go ahead, Mike.
Oh no, John D is leaving, so just saying goodbye.
Yeah.
Was that the real John D? Sometimes there's fake John Ds.
That seemed like the real one for sure.
Yeah.
Right.
So,
well, before he leaves, if he's still here, he's got to get me a Batman cabinet. Batman anything. I've got like a beautiful spot right here in the new house with a Batman mannequin
next to the casting couch.
Do you want to see it? It's right beside the casting couch. I don't know if I'll be able to show it to you.
All right.
Let me see. Let me just
All
get
right,
this
guys,
camera moving.
My apologies for what you're about to see here. Bow, bow, chicka, wow, wow.
I got my lights in the way. I don't know if you can see. You can kind of see Batman. You can kind of see Batman where that little table is. Get rid of that table. We just put a little Batman cabinet there. Give me even one of the what is it called? The Batman baby cades. I'm good with that.
He said Batman Raw
I'm
Thrills.
good, man. You get me Batman anything, and I will gladly take it. I'm not picky. I don't even care if it looks super good. As long as it's logoed with Batman, I will take that shit.
Yep. Time for the real challenge. If that is the real John D, it's time John D puts up or shuts up and does a giveaway for our viewers and gives away a Dragon's Lair cab. I'm with Brady Goat on this. That's pretty funny. Batman Racing by Raw Thrills. I've actually played that. That's actually fun.
Yes.
They have that at the Dave & Buster's near me. That's actually a lot of fun. That's a cool game. Good stuff. All right, so overall, they're coming out with a cabinet that's going to run the original games, have an alphanumeric screen, look about 90% replica of what the original cabinet looked like, minus a couple of tweaks on the control panel in the marquee. And honestly, my only big concern with the cabinet is no Wi-Fi. You know what I mean? Because a lot of cabinets have had issues, and the Wi-Fi updates have helped. You know what I mean? Helped. And not having that's kind of scary nowadays, in my opinion. You know what I mean? It's 2022. Every electronic device should have Wi-Fi on it, in my opinion.
I want an XL Pac-Man with Wi-Fi. That's what I want.
Yeah. XL Pac-Man?
Hey,
you
Mike,
are the market for an XL Pac-Man. Yeah, you've told us that before.
Yeah, with Miss Pac-Man and Pac-Man on the same cabinet, though.
Why won't they put Pac-Man and Miss Pac-Man on the same cabinet?
Oh, they think they might have babies or something.
Well, I think that'll never happen again, ever.
So I will say it. Why would they put Miss Pac-Man and Pac-Man on a cabinet? If you can get the milk for free, why buy the cow? They can keep selling both. Like, people are going to buy them. Well, if you put both of them on the same cabinet, you lose the opportunity to sell two cabinets.
It's never going to happen.
Well, some people are saying it's legal reasons. They might know more than us in the live chat. I wouldn't know.
It very well may be legal reasons, but it's also logic reasons.
Yep.
What Mike said is 100% a heavy weighted factor there.
Yep.
Well, now they could put Pac-Mom on a cabinet with Pac-Man.
That would be so cool.
Yeah, I don't know. That
would be
argument,
so cool.
I don't think that argument is good because when they make cabinets, the cabinet's going to be out until it sells out. Then there's no more of that version anyway. So whether you have one with both on it, it's going to be on the shelf until they sell, and then they're going to come out with another Pac-Man down the line later.
you gotta consider optics, because if you do it once and then you don't do it anymore, people are just going to shit on every Pac-Man that comes out that doesn't have Miss Pac-Man on it.
So you mean like put out cabinets with 12 games and then you come back and put with one game and then you do it with 3 games? You mean like that?
It's not the same thing, but yes, that's 100% the optics of it. Because people are always saying, "Oh, I thought Arcade1Up was going to put 38 games on it," and then they're like, "Oh, the controls are all messed up. I wonder why." Because you got 38 games with different control configurations. You got to make.
You're a multicade hater, man.
I'm not a multicade hater, but I mean, if you're going to buy a multicade, why would you?
Kind of a little bit.
No, but if you're going to buy a multicade, why wouldn't you buy a Legends Ultimate? Why would you buy an Arcade1Up and expect it to have hundreds of games? Because you know you're going to be pissed off when the controls aren't right for the marquee game.
Yeah. Well, I mean, SG Miola, he is an Arcade1Up fan, but he only has room. He doesn't have room. So here's what's interesting, Mike, is there's a lot of Arcade1Up fans who want more games from Arcade1Up, but they're stuck buying 3 to 12 games at a time. You know what I mean? Like, they don't have the room. They don't have a basement like you. Know
That's
what I mean?
fair.
Like,
yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, some people literally have these cabinets in their kitchens, you know, because that's, you know, they live in an apartment or something of that nature. You know what I mean? So, and they love Arcade1Up and they want to buy more Arcade1Up, but they can't. Arcade1Up should do a multi-cade, in my opinion. That would make me happy, because then
you'd have
I would just sell all the other cabinets. Then I would just have the Arcade1Up multi-cade.
It's not their business model.
We know that, Nostalgia.
It's not their business model.
Yeah, I would just be happy if they just put appropriate games on appropriate cabinets. Don't mix up vertical and don't put a game
that's a fair criticism.
The right control panel. You know.
Look at the mystery coder. He stole his kids' play area for more cabinets.
Did you put a casting couch in your kids' play area too?
He must have.
Yeah. So what's interesting?
Not a casting couch. Okay.
Speaking of which, guys, I'm going to pull something up here. So, whatchamacallit? I bought my new hat from the iiRcade store because
Speaking of new hats, Carl.
Yeah. Yep. Go to the iiRcade website, go to apparel, guys, and they have apparel finally. You know what I mean? And this snapback hat is dope, man. This is the one I got right here. You know what I mean?
I actually do like that one quite a bit.
Yeah, this hat is awesome. And I got a couple of t-shirts too. I'm wearing one of them. I figured why not? I put them on. But man, guys, I highly recommend this hat. This hat is pretty nice.
In the olden days, we just called them hats.
It's a hat.
They were just
a snapback, bro.
That's the
I call it a hat. I don't call it a
snapback.
I just call it a hat. I don't call it a snapback. I'm 40. I don't call them snapbacks. And look at this. Shoe Shine, he ordered their Letterman jacket as well. Goofy Foot got a whole matching outfit. You guys are cracking me up. But hey, man. And then Scarpad says they need bigger sizes for us fat slobs. Yeah, I think
they have yoga pants by chance.
I didn't look. I think most of their sizes went up to 2X or something of that nature. But yeah, they have hoodies, they have t-shirts, they have hats.
Went right over his head.
Letterman jackets, all that kinds of stuff. But yeah, guys, you definitely want to check out. You guys definitely want to check that out if you guys are interested in having some merchandise. Scott James, he ordered the thong. That's hilarious. That's too funny. All right, so speaking of which, guys, in the other big news of the week, iiRcade's online gaming went live today. I don't know how many of you got a chance to try it out. Let us know in the live chat. I think they had about five games go online. A small selection, but they gave you some from every genre. They gave you a fighting game. I think it was Dragon Master. They gave you Windjammers, which is kind of a competitive Pong type game, I guess is the way you can kind of look at it. They gave you the baseball game. What is that? All-Star Sports 96 or something like that?
It was Dragon Master,
Yeah.
Windjammers, Stadium Hero 96, and Magical Drop 3.
Yeah, so just a quick selection of games online. I did give it a test myself. Guys, did you try it? Let us know your feedback. What I noticed is when I tried logging in, because they give you the option where when you go to pick a game, do you want to connect via server or peer-to-peer? The 2 times I tried to connect to another player through server, it just kind of spun. It just kind of hung there, right? But then the peer-to-peer connections worked fine. I was able to play the fighting game against somebody, and I won. And then I was able to play Magical Drop against somebody, and I think we tied. I think we each had 3 wins by the time we gave up. But the peer-to-peer, in my opinion, worked really well. I wasn't able to connect anyone via server, but then again, this is what they call an alpha release. Like, you guys have access to it, and you guys using it, that data will help us improve it, blah, blah, blah. So it's going to be buggy. It's going to have drop connections. It's going to have frame rate issues. It's going to have stuff as they iron out some stuff. But the peer-to-peer stuff, when I played Magical Drop and the fighting game, it worked pretty well, considering both of us these cabinets are Wi-Fi. You know what I mean? Like, they're not Ethernet connected. $5 super chat from Scarpad. I wasn't able to connect to a game or start one today at all. My initial impression is the online is pretty basic. Okay, I guess if free, not if sub money. Yeah, they're nowhere near to the point where they can charge people for it. I mean, it is very basic. Like, you have the option to create a room or join an existing room, and that's about it to play a game. There's like no friends list, no blocking, no spectating mode. Only 5 games that you could play. They are nowhere near ready to do this as like a, we're going to charge you kind of thing. Go ahead, Carl.
So the update, the 9.0.9.00, is that for the online play?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I saw it, but I didn't update today. So I have to do that.
Yep. Yeah, it's about a 1 gigabyte update. Only took a few minutes and all that kinds of stuff. Nostalgia, you gonna give it a shot? You gonna check it out?
I am going to give it a shot. I turned on the machine earlier on today, and I just did the install. I keep getting this thing where it's asking me for my damn password every time that I turn on the iArcade. So I don't know what's going on with that, but
they're trying to be like AtGames.
It's driving me. I don't have that problem with AtGames. I haven't had that problem in like probably 6 to 8 months. I haven't been prompted to put my password in on any of my AtGames products, but iArcade for the past probably 2 months, every time I turn it on, I've got to put my password in. It's driving me insane. So
speaking of that, every time I turn on the AtGames 1.0, which is this cabinet right here, every time I turn on the 1.0, I have to log in.
Yeah.
No, I'm sorry. Wait. Hold on. I got that backwards. Every time I turn on the 1.0, I'm automatically logged in every time. The 1.1 cabinet, I have to log in every single time.
Yeah, I have also the 1.1. That's the same thing I have.
And the pinball machine, I have to log in like once every 3 times that I turn it on.
Yeah, I think I have the same. It's about the same for me as well. It's every time almost on the ALU. And
do you have a mesh network?
I do have a mesh network.
P-Dubs, do you have a mesh network?
No, I don't think so. No.
I have Google Wi-Fi.
Yeah, I would not be surprised if it's related to the mesh networks, where your cabinet, when it turns on, is trying to connect to a network and it gets confused. And because it can't connect, it can't log you in. And then it reconnects to the network once it stabilizes. And then it's saying, hey, the sequence is already over. I'm not logging in again. You have to log in. I would not be surprised if it was related to that.
Hobby Hands gave us a $5 donation and confirmed that Stargate SG-1 showrunners must be Canadian because they say Cole's Notes, whereas here in the United States, we say Cliff's Notes. It's pretty funny.
What's Stargate?
Oh, you don't know what Stargate is?
It was a joke. Can you give me the Cole's Notes?
No, I'm not going to give you the Cole's Notes on Stargate.
So, so the iArcade, I haven't had a chance to do it yet. I did the update, but I think it was when they had just taken down the online, waiting for it to go back up. So I haven't had a chance to play online. I would like to say it's a free service, but it seemed kind of disappointing with the games that came out initially. Like, I mean, it's kind of like a little bit of a wet fart because you have this awesome new online service, and like Windjammers is pretty cool, but like they really, if they could have really set this off hot with something like Double Dragon or something tons of people will want to play together, I think it would have a massive impact. But again, it's kind of just a soft launch, and also the games were a little soft too. They didn't make me more than soft.
Oh my God! More jeez, Mike, you just had a baby. Good God, man!
Talking about wet farts and being soft, all in the same sentence.
So what's interesting is I was on MCAP's Discord, and when I had done the update before they pulled the online games, Warrior Blade Roston 3 said it was online play, and I took screenshots where I connected to Roston 3 to play online, right? But then they took it away. So I think there's more games than the 5, but they only released the 5 so far. But games like Warrior Blade, Double Dragon, some of the bigger more better stuff on there, I think probably would have, like Mike said, how many people are desperate to hop on their iArcade and play Dragon Master? You know what I mean? Should have done Rage of the Dragons or something a little more like one of the hyper fighting games. You know what I mean? Something a little more exciting than.
Yeah. Now this is still an
Dragon
absolute win day for iArcade. I'm not trying to
Sure.
rain on the parade
Sure.
or anything like that. Awesome. Huge. It's just the game left me scratching my head. The game selection, because exactly for what you just said.
Yeah, and but then again, they're going to be adding what 3 to 5 games a week. Before you know it, they'll be at all 150 games. Or like when I say 150, I'm talking like arcade titles, because all the arcade games will be online first before any modern games. So it's going to take them a while to get through that list, So, Double Dragon multiplayer would have been fun. You know what I mean? I mean, to me, Double Dragon aged the way Bad Dudes aged. That's just my opinion. However, if I was to play it online with somebody, I probably would enjoy it more than playing it by myself. You know what I mean? Like Mike and I talking on the phone. What's up, buddy? Go get that guy in the corner. I got this guy. You know what I mean? So, still a good day for iArcade. I mean, it's something that the community asked for, right? The community said we want to be able to play online, and they're making it happen. It's just going to take a while until it gets there. That begs the question. Somebody put it in a live chat. Should they have, someone put it here, SG Mullah, should they have just not even done this alpha? Should they have just had it all ready to go and just launched it? Something tells me, I don't know if they should, which way they should have gone. What do you guys think?
I think an alpha launch is a good way to go. They're a small company. They need as much feedback as possible to improve on what they've developed. And this is not a small undertaking. Taking games like this, setting up servers, setting up peer-to-peer, pushing it out to the masses, it's not a small undertaking. So yes, early adopters, yes, people who are purchasing the cabinets right now, who are getting access to the feature, there's going to be some frustration. But one, it's free. It doesn't cost you anything. Two, if online frustrates you so much, then just don't play it, because you're no farther behind than you were last week before that feature was released. And three, it's going to give iArcade really valuable insight from their user base on what to do in order to improve it. So from my perspective, 100% release the alpha and get the feedback.
Yeah, and I just got to add a lot of credence and weight to what Nostalgia's saying here, as he has experience with an arcade company releasing a bunch of underperforming games on an online base.
and I'll add to it as well. Obviously their cabinet is connected, and they get the statistics. They can see what people are playing, what games are popular. So I'm sure there's some logic to why they chose those games, so they can get the demographics of certain people or certain actions. So I'm sure it has a great reason why they chose those. And again, there's an alpha, so they're learning, we're learning. So it's a good step forward either way.
Yeah, I mean, although there are 5 games and probably the biggest title is Windjammers, like Carl said, they picked 5 different genres of games: a sports game, a fighting game, a side-scrolling run and gunner game, a co-op run and gunner game, and a puzzle game. You know what I mean? Like they picked like one of each genre to kind of get people to play, instead of just saying we're just doing fighting games this week, right? So yeah, I guess that was kind of smart. Vic Vicious, I will agree with you. Eternal Champions is awesome. I mean, I'm one of the world's biggest Eternal Champions fans. Would that ever be on an arcade machine? Maybe not. Maybe thrown in as a piece of console fluff on a cabinet with something else in the future, but not by itself, I don't think. So there you guys go.
I would like to see, and this would drive me to purchase a new iArcade cabinet, either Soul Calibur or Tekken. If they were able to secure those licenses and then push them out with online play, and then they created a themed cabinet, without a doubt, I would be picking up one of those two.
Yeah, a lot of people in the chat are saying games. I think we even talked about it during our live streams last week. Like, okay, now you did your online launch. You're probably going to have a team of folks working on every week, testing and releasing online games. hopefully your licensing team and everyone else is still going to be there bringing more games to the system, because games sell systems, games sell consoles, games sell subscription services, games sell cabinets. They need more games to get people excited about. Goofyfoot $5 donation says he was 15th in line for the gold cabinet. Does anyone who know who was number 3? I don't know. If you were number 3, give him a shout out in the live chat. We appreciate the donation. Man, can you imagine if there was a Soul Calibur type game?
Oh man, that'd be so good.
That we could play online against each other like this?
Soul,
Well, we could
Soul
do it on
Calibur specifically
is
aged really well.
Is Soul Calibur on Fightcade though? Is Soul
Calibur a what?
On Fightcade. Is it on Fightcade?
Yes, it is. Yes, it is.
Ooh.
You can play Soul Calibur on Fightcade through. I don't know if it is for sure on the Dreamcast side. Like 100%, it's on the Dreamcast side. I can pull it up and check, actually. Here.
Nostalgia, did you do a video on Fightcade today on how to install it and stuff like that?
Yeah, I did.
That's really cutting edge stuff. I'm glad you got out ahead of the curve and got that done.
Yeah, it's only, what, a year and a half late? That's okay. Hey, man, better late than never.
So William says it's been 2 weeks since the Arabian game, although he called it crap.
I love Arabian Magic. I don't know.
I like Arabian Magic too. I think it's a good game. But if he thinks it's crap, I respect his opinion.
Oh yeah,
but
I mean everybody likes different things.
But let's remember what happened in the last 2 weeks. They released their new cabinet, right? And they wanted all the focus on the cabinet, and now they released the online service this week. So like we just said, we're hoping next week it's kind of back to business. You know what I mean? Let's release some games that we can get excited about. You know what I mean? Kongs R Us is calling you out about your cutting edge tutorial.
That's okay. I'm good with that. You guys can chirp away.
Oh man, Goofyfoot says he would screw me up in Soul Calibur. Oh man, you better bring it.
Yep, it's here.
Oh, yep, Soul Calibur is on Fightcade.
Let me see if I can pull it up.
Fire it up.
Well, arrange a match for the 4 of us to play.
Well, crap, I'm on my PC too. Maybe we should just play Soul Calibur right now for the rest of the show.
I'm going to go take care of my baby. See you, fellas.
Mike,
there she is.
There you go. Here, let's minimize that.
I'm playing with my keyboard, though, so...
Mike, were you a Soul Calibur fan with all the console gaming you've played?
Yeah, actually, I was a Dreamcast launch guy. So I got my Dreamcast at launch. I got Sonic Adventure, and I bought Soul Calibur right away. And I ended up playing Soul Calibur a whole lot more than I played Sonic Adventure.
Yeah. Yeah, Soul Calibur was one of my favorite Dreamcast games.
I wonder why, P-Dubs.
Well, it was cool for a fighting game, you know what I mean? It was really cool.
It was one of the first times that we felt that you were really moving into that really good-looking 3D fighting space.
Mm-hmm.
And it just played well. One of the first weapon-based fighting games I really remember playing. I know that Soul Blade came out before this, and that was on PlayStation 1, but Soul Calibur is really the game that hit the high marks for me.
Yeah. Scott says Space Invaders looks pretty awesome. Now we just need the games. Yeah, we know that the cabinets, like the Space Invaders cabinet shipping in July, they better have that game out well before July. They better not make us wait for all the Space Invaders titles. And Dr. Funk says it has aged well. We would agree. Do we think Space Invaders will be released before the iArcade Space Invaders cabinet's released? I hope so. They need to release that now.
Can I comment on it?
Go ahead.
Anything is possible.
Nice victory by Nostalgia. I mean, look at this game. Still looks good to this day.
Yeah, it's a great game.
Still looks good. God, it doesn't look like Virtua Fighter. You know what I mean? Like it looks a lot better than Virtua Fighter.
It's a close second to Bad Dudes.
Oh come on, Bad Dudes looks like ass. Come on. Although Bad Dudes visually looks better than the first Double Dragon.
One thing I will say that people are waiting on. People are waiting on specifically not modern ported games over, but more modern and powerful arcade games to show up on the iArcade. So, I mean, it doesn't necessarily have to be this one specifically, but I think if iArcade wanted to focus on appeasing that fan base, showing the power of their hardware, if they could get something like this on the system within the next year, that'd be a big victory for them.
Yeah, I agree. They need it.
I think remember what was it, Battle Arena, Toshinden, or whatever on PlayStation. That thing was horrible looking. It didn't age well at all. But this looks like this could be been released 2 months ago.
And Scott here says he wants Streets of 4, especially because that's coming to Android. So there you go. Goofyfoot wants. There's a lot of Dreamcast games that would work well on the iArcade. And I remember when I visited the iArcade office, they were telling me like a lot of the Dreamcast games they could run on this hardware. And they have gotten a lot of Switch and PS4 games and stuff ported over onto their hardware.
There's not a Dreamcast game that they couldn't get running on that hardware.
Yeah. So
you just need the right emulator.
Yeah, they need to make it happen though. Get the games, man. We want those games.
And Dreamcast is one of those consoles that I think would translate well to an arcade control deck.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think you could play every single game, but there's you probably 50% of the library you could play with a fight stick.
So Bob here, he likes MK Gold.
That's where it gets complicated because that's a Midway license, and even if it is a console license, I mean, there's another huge company that's blocking the path on a lot of these titles.
Yeah. William, I love my iArcade, but it needs games. Every time a game comes out, I immediately buy it, good or bad. So iArcade makes money immediately. There you go. Well, then, William, then you have 300 games to play. You should be quite busy, sir. But he wants something newer, bigger, better. I totally understand. Tekken 3 would be good. Now Shenmue, that's the RPG game on Dreamcast. I don't right? I don't think that would translate well on the iArcade.
I don't know. They put ease on this thing. Anything is possible, and I'm not being funny that time. I mean,
I bought Ease and Ease Chronicles on the iArcade, Mike, because you told me to, and I haven't played them yet. I spent all that money and I haven't played them yet.
They're good. They're good. I've got both of them as well. But like it's an RPG, so a lot of times like you're playing it and you're like, oh, this is awesome. I'm playing it on an arcade cabinet, and you're like, it's still like a 15-hour game. Why am I playing this on an arcade cabinet? My ass hurts so much on the stool.
Yeah, you have to sit in a stool instead of a nice comfy couch.
Yeah.
Dead or Alive Volleyball. I really liked what was the black and white game that was on the iArcade? White Knight? Is that what it was called?
Yeah.
I liked playing that on the iArcade, but I never beat the game because it was, it's something you probably need to sit on the couch and play. You know what I mean? It's a console game.
I want to.
The sound was incredible, though.
I want to tell you guys, this is just a little behind the scenes magic of what we do here. Nostalgia is in his glee right now, being able to play a video game instead of having to talk and be a presence, just playing a game and showing you his skills. This is what he wants to do every show. Like, we'll just be going through random things, and he's like, hey, how about we play some games online? And we're like, man, that's not really coming up. And he's like, well, I'm going to do it anyways. He's getting to do it right now.
Actually, what I do typically is I play the games when you guys think I'm talking. Or when I'm not talking, that's actually when I'm playing. I just don't share my screen.
No, you're working for AtGames.
Overall, still, it's a win for iArcade, but they have a long way to go for us to get like amazingly excited about the online service. They got to get a lot more games. They got to add a lot more features to the service. They're asking for you guys as owners to provide them honest feedback along the way so they can improve it and make it a good thing. It sounds to me like they really care about making it a good thing. Stringer Films gave us a $2 super chat. Congrats on Little Mikey Bangs. There you go. Thanks, Stringer. We appreciate it. But pretty much, guys, that is the week in a nutshell. Not a whole lot of news, just a couple big banging stories from iArcade, Arcade1Up, and some deals going on with AtGames. Do us a favor, guys. If you enjoyed the podcast tonight, make sure you give us a thumbs up. If you caught the replay, make sure you leave your comments and reactions below so we can check those out a little bit later. And Carl, whenever you're ready, send them on their way.
All right, guys, thanks for watching. And I do want to give a plug for CT Jason. He's premiering his home arcade championship videos tomorrow, Sunday at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard. So definitely check that out. I think he's going to be following Console Kit's show tomorrow. So definitely check it out. And guys, until next time, we'll see you on the web.
So quick funny thing about that, guys. I was supposed to be one of the judges on CT Jason's show. However, my work schedule prevented me. If you guys remember, I took like a week off YouTube to get caught up on my real job. So I wasn't able to do the judging for CT Jason. So I had to bow out of judging. But I definitely support him and that show. It's going to be fun and exciting. He also wrote a funny skit that you guys will see, like, why is P-Dubs no longer a judge? You guys definitely want to check it out. He showed me a clip and it was funny. Go ahead, Mike.
So anyways, that's not the real reason why P-Dubs was taken out of the judges poll. If you guys want to know the real reason, you can call me on the Super Game Room Dudes hotline. $4.99 the first minute, $15.99 every additional minute. That's the Super Game Room Dudes hotline. Call today.
Sunday.
Did you really set up a hotline?
Oh, yeah, totally.
Awesome.
I got the old WCW hotline, the old Mean Gene Okerlund one.
The same number?
Same number.
Man, Console Kit's going to be pissed.